Namaskar. Welcome you all in this educational video of NIOS. We are going to do subject library science. In our senior secondary course, we call this subject as library and information sciences. Code number for this subject is 339. We are doing lesson number 1. Name of the lesson is Library and Information Centers, Concept and Role in Society. So we will be discussing this lesson. This video is part 3. This is the first point which we will be discussing in this lesson. First, we will understand the functions of library. The first function is education. The second function of library is information dissemination. The third function of library is promotion of culture. And the fourth function of library is recreation. So all these 4 points as a function of library we will be discussing in detail. This is the first function of library. Its name is education. Let us now understand it in detail. We all know that libraries provide means for self-development of the individual and groups at various stages of education. So education plays a very important role, we know, and the second point is connected with this first point, as the education closes the gap between the individual and the recorded knowledge. You can see on the screen, this point, it comes under the education as a function of library. We know that there are various types of education provided in our society. So, as an educational center, the libraries support and promote all types of education, whether it is formal, whether it is non-formal or adult education or lifelong education. And all these functions of libraries are achieved by the books, and we know that in libraries we stock books and reading materials so that community can approach and have a look at those books and go through the reading material. So, books and reading materials are the important content. So far, we have understood all these points. So let us now review all those points in a summary form. Libraries provide means for self-development of the individual and groups at various stages of education. Also, we understood that education closes the gap between the individual and the recorded knowledge of the person. And also we discussed that as an educational center, the libraries support and promote all types of education like formal education, non-formal education, adult education, and lifelong education. So different types of education is supported by the libraries. So it is also one of the important function of library in the field of education, or you can say academic field. And this last point which is on screen, it tells that all these functions of library regarding education and academic is achieved by the materials which are kept in the libraries, like stocking of books and some other reading materials which is kept in the library for the use of the people or use in the community. Now this is the second function of library. The second function of library is information dissemination. We know that libraries help to provide accurate and current information to individuals and groups, particularly on the topic of their interest. And this second point explains that the scope of information services is extended to include information on the socio-economic needs of the society. So this is also one of the important function of library, to provide the necessary information to the needy community or which is appropriate to the community. So that information must be passed to them. Now these points which you can see on the screen are also the functions of library under the information dissemination. A library has to serve as an information center or referral center for specialized source of information. The point next explains about the employment opportunities and the public utility services and social awareness programs which are undertaken by various departments and are considered to be essential areas of information. So this is also an important function of library. Because people get information regarding the employment opportunities and other public utility services and other social awareness programs from the library only. And also the next point explains that information about all these areas is collected and stored by libraries for the dissemination to the general public, so that anyone who approaches library for any information can receive that information. So far, we have understood the information dissemination point under the functions of library. So information dissemination is a very important function of the libraries. In this, we discussed that libraries help to provide accurate and current information to individuals and groups, particularly on the topics of their interest. After that, we discussed that the scope of information services is extended to include information on socio-economic needs of the society. As per the need of the community, information can be disseminated to them. And all these informations are kept in the library, which is one of the important functions of library. After that, we discussed that a library has to serve as an information center, or we call it referral center, for specialized course of information. Also, we had discussed that the employment opportunities, and public utility services, and social awareness programs. All these are undertaken by various departments. These are all considered to be essential areas of information. As we know that in community, there are various people who doesn't know about the vacancies information, that there is a particular vacancy or the place where anyone can apply, or who is the person, what is the eligibility. So all this information is collected and kept at the library. So library is a place where you can get the information. So that is why information dissemination is an important function of the library. And also we discussed that information about all these areas is collected and stored by the libraries for the dissemination to the general public, so that anyone who wants to have that information can come and access the information. Now this is the third main functions of a library, and we already have understood that the third main function is promotion of culture. We know that libraries act as one of the principal centers of cultural life and promote participation, enjoyment, and appreciation of various arts. There are various kinds of arts and cultural activities in our community which can be promoted with the help of libraries. So this is one of the major function of library. So people get aware and have the related information. Any culture and the promotion of culture has mainly two aspects in it. The first is reading and thinking. We know that reading and thinking widens the mental horizon and it develops creative capabilities of the individual. The person can get the creative ideas and new creations developed with the help of libraries. And the first aspect we have understood. The second aspect of promotion of culture is that libraries has to contribute to the cultural enrichment of the society by organizing extension activities like lectures, seminars, symposia, book exhibitions, cultural gatherings, workshops. So there are different kinds of group activities organized by the library. They can be state-wise or there can be local seminars on different themes. All those seminars and workshops can be organized by the library. This is the fourth function of library. We know that its name is recreation. Recreation of libraries play an active role in encouraging the positive use of leisure time by providing material for change and relaxation. So recreation is also one of the very important function of library. In recreation, there is provision of scope for healthy or positive use of leisure time. We know that it is an important function of library, as there are various kinds of books, like books of fiction, magazines, newspapers. All these are kept to facilitate the recreational reading, and any user or reader who comes in the library gets motivated to further read and continue that habit of reading informations and getting this recreational source from the library. And this point, which comes under the same functions of library under the heading of recreation, we know that there are different kinds of materials and stocking of books is kept. So audio-visual materials such as films, television, radio, audio-video cassettes, etc., all these increases the utility of public library. Besides that, there are various forms of performing arts. So different workshops, seminars can be organized in the library to make them real community centers. Now let us understand the role of libraries in society and education. There are various points which we will discuss. The first point under this heading explains that it helps in the lifelong and self-education of one and all. The second point under this heading explains that it furnishes up-to-date facts and information on all subjects to everyone. And people get the updated information on different topics of their own interest. So library is a place where you can get the updated information. And also, another important role of library is to disseminate all the shared recorded views and thoughts in an unbiased and balanced way to everyone. Because for library, all the people of the society are equal. So the information dissemination is unbiased. So far, we have discussed all the points related to library. Let us now review them back. The first point which we discussed about library was that it provides opportunities for positive use of leisure time to one and all. So this is an important function of library. Another function of library is library preserve the literary and cultural heritage of humanity for research and preserve all the related information at one place. Another point which we discussed tells us about the work for continued social well-beings of the society. As an agency in charge of all socialized recorded thoughts, library plays a very important role. Thank you.